Welcome, everyone, to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside with my co-host, Albert Sita. Thank you all for tuning in this week, whether it be on audio format, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podomatic. Thank you for tuning in, listening in, or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much again, taking the time out to watch us talk about professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. Sorry, I'm fixing my mic here, but we'll get that straightened out. Albert, how's it going, man?
It's going good. We ended last week about that the figurines are hot.
Yes,
Today,
we promised some teasing.
Yeah, today
on the figurines.
on Monday they re-released the Green Ranger's little dagger.
Yeah, his little flute.
Yeah, his little flute. So you can pre-order that right now. But man, dude, there are figures come like so. Super 7's the cream of the crop.
So real quick, let me for us who are not in the loop, where do you get your figure news? Like the newsletter, social media? Where do you get the
most of it? I just
inside
follow,
scoop.
I just follow different accounts on social media.
Okay.
For some reason, they always find someone that works there, someone that took a picture and leaked it, and so I just follow different accounts. Toy Shiz.
It's almost like Gorilla.
Is probably like the biggest one I follow.
Like guerrilla marketing, right? Like rumor has it that this toy is going to come out.
Exactly.
Rumor has it that it's at this this Walmart or this Target and so on and so forth, and it's going to go on this like profile is selling. So do you buy your figures secondhand, or if you don't get them in the shop, that's it?
No, dude. I am determined to. I gotta either pre-order or I hit up every Target in my region until I find it.
Okay.
I refuse to pay more than retail price
because it goes up, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so the toy black market.
Man, the black market is hot right now. I got some Power Ranger figurines there. They're going up for a pretty penny right now.
So right now, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you guys should be watching or listen to the podcast. Albert has a shelf on his wall of nothing but Power Rangers and a few X-Men, and there's a Thanos one here. But here's also, if you guys have been watching our live feeds, he has some selective wrestling ones.
Yeah.
You say the WWE ones, you can't you buy them, but you sell them right away. Right?
Yeah.
So you don't partake in it. You just deal it, right?
Yeah.
You're a dealer, but you don't need to take
just on the WWE figures. For some reason, like I'm not that close to. I guess the attachment's not there anymore. Maybe because I haven't gotten like the Macho Mans and the Razor Ramones and the Stone Colds, where I think I'll have a little bit more attachment. I got like Mark Henry, Undertaker. I still have my Eddie Guerrero. So there's, I guess
you can sell those ones.
Yeah, like for some reason, like they're cool figures. Like don't get me wrong, having a Nation of Domination Mark Henry with the freaking weights is awesome. But I don't have a sentimental.
If the price is right, you'll part with it.
Which it was, and I sold it.
So what is it about the Power Rangers one that you just have to collect and have to keep?
Bro, the first memory I have of like having like a friend, like you're just like obsessed with, is Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
Dude,
as a kid,
I love that show. I remember my parents waited like 2 hours in line to get a ticket that will allow you to buy the figure in Toys R Us. And I did not grow up really well. Like we were always struggling, eating rice and beans every day.
Yeah.
They got all of them. They got all 5 figures except for the Pink Ranger. But I mean, that's understandable. It's a bunch of guys.
Was popular then? It's popular now,
right? They got
right?
the Yellow Ranger, thinking the Yellow Ranger was a guy.
So obviously, this is a bit of nostalgia for you, right?
Yeah. So the moment I had a paycheck, bro,
some disposable income.
Yep. I went at it.
We'll have to maybe we'll do a figure podcast on that one too. So now they've done all the Power Rangers now, the actual figures. Now they're going to the accessories, hence the flute of the Green Ranger.
No, but see, there's bigger news. So the guys you see up here, they're nice figures. These are nice figures, but there's a company called Super 7 that makes like really detailed figures. They made a partnership with Hasbro, and now they're gonna come out with new figures. I mean, they showed the Goldon is gonna come out.
Yeah.
I have a Goldon, but I gotta buy it because wait till I put side. We're gonna show you side by side, bro. It's like a work of art.
So it's just
Super 7 figures,
just like a different detail.
Yeah,
same figure but more detail.
Yeah. So New Japan has a deal with them, and their figures are ridiculous, bro. It blows anything AEW or WWE has. It's ridiculous.
I'm about to get a Jay White figure. That's pretty cool, man. I don't dabble in that figures. I have a whole box of old wrestling toys. I should probably
You should probably
bust out and see what's in there.
There might be something worth selling.
Imagine. We'll see. Maybe
it's the best and worst thing to ever have happened to me.
Well, maybe if I could dig it out of my parents' house in the garage somewhere, maybe I'll come out and show you all my old wrestling toys that I had. I never play with them.
So they're probably nice.
And they're out of the box. I always open them, but I never wanted to play with them because I didn't want to mess them up. Some of them are kind of scraped, but then after for a while, I don't want to play with them. I just want to keep them. So maybe I can find them. We'll do that here. But super cool. Honestly, we all have our habits. You could be spending your money on a lot worse things, right?
I could pick up a drug habit. Who knows?
So we got a lot to talk about today in the world of mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. But before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by Foxhound Fuel. Train hard, stay sharp. Go to foxhoundfuel.com and get yourself one or all three of their workout formulas. They have a pre-workout to get you pumped. They have a during workout ready hydration to keep that exercise going, and they also have a post-workout recovery formula here to kind of make you heal up and get ready for the next one. I have been going on longer runs now to kind of clear my mind of some things, and it's been hot in Southern California. And this past weekend, I went on an extra long run to kind of clear my mind, and I was hurting like an hour afterwards, man. And I thought to myself, you know what? I got to get me some of that recovery post-workout from Foxhound Fuel. And in a couple hours, I was feeling good, and I was feeling well enough the next day to hit a leg workout. So it works, man. So, and Albert, you're on it too, right?
Yeah, I actually ordered 2 bags today.
Yeah.
So this morning I ordered 2 more bags because I ran out of the free samples that you can get on their website for free. They'll hook you up for free,
and it tastes great too.
Yeah, and so I ordered my 2 bags. So I'm just, dude, it's crazy how I'm excited to work out just because I know I can just go ham and not worry about it. Because I don't know about you, but as soon as you haven't worked out in a long time, you start working out and you feel a little tweak or a little, pull,
you get a little scared,
a little pull there. I kind of stop or slow down because I'm like, bro, I got kids. Last thing I want to do is lay in bed and not be able to move or go to work and I'm, my wrist is hurting. I don't know. When you're older, I guess you just, all right. Maybe
we got to be more careful, man.
Maybe it's just me and I'm just crazy and I just don't want to be injured. But because I know, trust me, and I tried it out. I went ham on my workouts, used the recovery. Dude, I was able to go ham again on the next one, and that's all I needed to know. And best believe, like I said, I placed my order today for 2 bags of the recovery.
It's natural post-workout, natural pre-workout, and natural during hydration. No artificial sweeteners. You won't get that jittery feeling. Go to foxhoundfuel.com and use promo code 5MMA. It's a number 5 MMA for 25% off your order.
25% off.
That lets them know that 5 Round MMA sent you. So you're doing us a favor. You're doing yourself a favor
supporting
for getting this stuff here, man. Because again, we're on it. We can't say enough good about this. It works. And also, big thank you to Wildbar. Eat instinctively. All natural, dense, nutrient dense bars, natural, paleo, vegan friendly, no refined sugars, non-GMO, gluten free, 3 great flavors: berry, cherry, and pineapple. Proper fuel for your body. You don't want, when you're working out and you're trying to eat healthy, you don't want to put any so-called health bars or protein bars with a bunch of stuff you don't know, you can't even pronounce into your body. With Wild Bar, it's all natural. You can pronounce it. It's all natural ingredients. It tastes great. Go to wildbar.co and use promo code 5ROUNDMMA15 for 15% off your order. That's FIVE round MMA 15, the number 15, for 15% off your order. We'll give more detail about these 2 coming up next and then later rounds here. But big thank you to Foxhound Fuel and Wild Bar. Foxhoundfuel.com, wildbar.co. Albert, let's get started with round number 1. Why don't we? Round number 1. WWE Creative. Always in the news, right? If you're an internet wrestling community, you're always talking crap about Creative on Monday, on Fridays, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, on Sundays. It's always WWE Creative. If you want to sound like you're an expert, just say WWE Creative and Vince McMahon, and then you're an expert, and you have a podcast just like us here. But I'm always one to give them slack here because it's a television show. They got to produce every week. You got to keep it fresh. So Nikki Cross, talented female superstar on the WWE roster, formerly NXT, was part of the Sanity group. She was debuted or kind of presented as this kind of psycho, crazy, unstable, unhinged, basically a way better version of Dean Ambrose, I thought.
Yeah.
Right? Super talented. And she's kind of been up and down on what her storyline was. She was Alexa Bliss and kind of Alexa Bliss's sidekick. And, now
awkward sidekick or
yeah,
when two people have different not characters, but like personalities, I guess.
Yeah.
They're able to make it come together.
But now Alexa Bliss is completely psycho, and she's a demon or whatever, or a witch, whatever. So that kind of left Nikki Cross with, I can't be too much like Alexa Bliss because that gimmick's already covered already. We kind of talked about this with Ruby Riott and Rhea Ripley, too similar. And a couple weeks ago, Nikki Cross debuts out of the blue this superhero gimmick where she's on literally a butterfly is on her chest, comes out with the cape and mask, and people are like, well, wait, what's going on here? Now she's Super Nikki out of the blue. And if you were to jump on Twitter, on social media that day, oh man, they tore WWE Creative apart. Vince McMahon is crazy. I can never watch his company again. How embarrassing. This is WWE, blah, 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 blah. And then came out slowly from more of the reputable people on internet wrestling community, the ones who kind of sit back and let things play out and don't overreact right away when they see emotionally. Turns out this superhero idea was all Nikki's idea. She's been pitching it for a while now, from the costume design she approved on. So this is all Nikki Cross's idea.
Yeah.
Now people are pulling back. Oh, well, I think it might work. Good for her. Support her once a while, and then she's getting like fan art and stuff like that. And now we're getting more people now saying, well, the WWE nix bad ideas all the time. This is a bad idea. They're purposely trying to kill Nikki Cross. So again, it depends how you look at it. I think it's good.
Just literally read that first tweet that's underneath it.
Yeah.
It kind of summarizes exactly what you were saying right now. What this person.
So this guy, Pat Thoreau on Twitter says, step 1, get built up on NXT. Step 2, sent to the main roster. Step 3, after debuting on the main roster, get your character messed up by Vince. Step 4, get released to the mid card with a goofy gimmick. Step 5, best of luck in your future endeavors. And he said, Nikki, you're at step 4, which is get relegated to the mid card.
So does that not just sum up what you just said?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this real quick? I know it's a long summation on my part. Sorry about that.
So I was never really a big Nikki Cross fan. But
we're way over on time here, so we'll
but I will say this is a superhero gimmick. Shane Helms was pretty much not known in the wrestling industry, or didn't get over until he made his Hurricane gimmick.
He was like Sugar Shane Helms or something like that in
something
WCW.
like that, and it just wasn't working. As soon as he became the Hurricane, that's his best gimmick today. Till this day, he still does the Hurricane gimmick. I think a lot of fans have some kind of nostalgia for it, and it worked. It worked for him. With Nikki Cross, I think it's the same thing. Just now I think she's appealing to the girls, the little girls. We forget, like, Hurricane was mainly for like the boys, right?
Yeah.
And it worked. So I think this is just gravitating more towards girls. Hence all the butterflies and exaggeration of
the bright colors,
color and all that stuff. So I think the wrong audience is responding to this.
I think so too.
If I would see a bunch of girls not liking the character, I think it'll be a little bit different. I don't think it's for you. If you don't like it, I don't think it's for you. 100%. Like I said, I'm not a Nikki Cross fan. I haven't seen her promos as a superhero enough to say it's good or bad. But I'll tell you right now, it wasn't meant for me. Uh-huh. But it doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
People forget there's Disney caters to all demographics. They don't just say we're gonna get this market, that market. No, they look it through. The whole reason they even purchased Marvel was to get that core group of boys, which was like, was it 9 to 13? Was this very important core group that they didn't have.
Nope.
Because mostly it was girls that were into Disney from that age.
It was the Disney princesses. We're making tons of money for that. And they said they corner the market on the girls. We have all the girl stuff here. We have nothing for the boys, though. Because honestly, do boys, after a certain age, they like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy? Not really.
So they bought Marvel, and it was a genius idea, and look at them now.
Yeah.
I think this is the same category. I feel like there's a demographic out there that they need to keep and grab, especially now that the women's division is so hot. Like, you got to keep developing that fan base, and I think that's who it's for. And I think if you don't like it, it's not meant for you.
Yeah, I don't know this guy who tweeted. He has I don't think it's him as his icon, but he looks like I'm pretty sure he's an older dude.
Yeah, just like if Disney revealed the new Miss Minnie Mouse or whatever.
Yeah,
and you see a bunch of older guys.
That's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's not meant for you.
I think it gets so lost on these internet wrestling marks. I'm gonna call him Mark. I'm a Mark too, so I'm calling you. I'm a Mark. We're all Marks.
I'm a smart.
We're smart, dude. Like give it some time to breathe, man.
Yeah,
give it some time to breathe. We're always so quick to say, "Oh, this is stupid." Blah 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 blah. This is her idea, and all of a sudden now it went from the WWE stifles creative. I can't cut the promos I can't cut. All these wrestlers who are released go on a podcast and say, well, I had this idea. I had that idea. It was all shot down. They're listening to Nikki. Now it's, they want bad ideas to kind of go through. So they want to sabotage her career. You don't see this as marketable. You're a figurine, right? Is this not a figure-friendly costume?
That is very
figure-friendly or figure-esque?
It's going to come to me. Keep going.
But if you guys are not watching the podcast, she has a mask on, a cape, yellow tights, a blue kind of top with the butterflies on it, wristbands, everything. It's all figure friendly, right? So I mean, what's your thought to that when people say, they don't let wrestlers be creative? And this is a prime example of one from idea. How bad as it looks to you, this is her idea.
And the way I see it is like it's a TV show at the end of the day. That's the way WWE, I think, really does approach it. And if you see any other TV programming, there's writers. And actors sometimes have a say in their character, but sometimes they're like, no, it makes no sense for the story. We're not using it.
Yep.
I think it's the same thing. I forgot who was it I think it was Stone Cold I heard or whatever. They're like, dude, like it's not that Vince doesn't listen. You just have to keep talking to him. But there's a lot of people that get intimidated or a lot of people that take no for the first time. But like, if you believe in it, just keep hitting them up.
Yeah.
Keep hitting them up. And if you're not being noticed, then what's the point if they do let you go?
Yeah.
So might as well get noticed.
I think we're noticing that too is one guy who always try to think outside the box.
Toyetic. Yeah.
One guy who always thought, like, I was always trying to pitch ideas and try to think of ways to get over, and he just couldn't get over, was Matt Cordova or Zack Ryder. Bro, maybe your ideas weren't good, and maybe we're proving to you now, bro. Like, you can't even get a job in AEW. Now you got to go wrestle in light bulbs to try and get over, bro. What does that say about your ideas that you had, man? Maybe some guys just can't get over. I'm sorry, Matt Cordova or Zack Ryder or whatever, but all for Nikki. Good for her. I hope this works. I'm hoping that she gets pushed to the moon and proves all these haters and these bitter old wrestling fans wrong, because I think if it's an idea, it's definitely different from what's on the roster right now, right?
If my daughter was older and was like, Daddy, I want that toy or I want that figure, they would have been 100% right. But I mean, my daughter's not old enough to let me know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. We went super long on that round. Yeah. We're going to continue talking about WWE Creative.
Cool picture, by the way.
Yeah. I think that's fan art, too. So if you guys are going to draw Nikki, she's going to share it because she's been all over this since day one. So I'm glad she's getting the support. Ignore the haters. And like I said, hopefully it works out. Worked out for Hurricane Helms. Worked out for Rosie. Worked out for Mighty Molly. Look at it. It spun off different characters. So we're going to have a WWE superhero universe pretty soon. That's it for round number one. We're going to come back and talk about more WWE creative drama coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number two. It's going to be another long round here because we're talking about professional wrestling. More on the WWE creative end. So one of the biggest controversies of last week was a newly hired writer for the WWE Creative Writer, Kenise Mobley. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but she was hired as a writer for WWE. Apparently she's I never heard of her, but she's a comedy writer, producer, probably has a lot of experience, as she said, in comedy writing, television, stuff like that. She's also on a podcast, the Asian Not Asian podcast, where she said, hey, I got a job for WWE. I'm going to be working with somebody named Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. And she kind of went on to more like what she's going to be doing. She seemed kind of excited about it, but she also said that she had no familiarity with the product and that the WWE was okay with that. And they said, come on board. Less than a couple of days later, after that was spewed out over the internet, she was fired from her job as a writer for the WWE. Albert, I want your thoughts on this here. You and I both have backgrounds in television, media, film. We both studied it in college. We've done some stuff aside from 5-round MMA that are in that realm.
Yeah.
Should a writer for WWE, Monday Night Raw, or SmackDown, or NXT have a deep, vast knowledge of the product before coming on board?
No.
Oh, hot take.
And I'll say this.
Did I use deep, vast knowledge on there? Is that why?
Yeah, maybe.
I want you to name the top 5 greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time.
I can't do it off the bat, but Razor Ramon is number 1. But anyways.
Who did Ric Flair defeat in 1984 for the NWA? Now, tell me now.
I'm going to guess and say
what was the co-main event for WrestleMania 3? Is that kind of stuff? Is that a little too much to ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, what I was trying to get at was like take an example for like just something like Breaking Bad. Vince Gilligan, isn't a drug addict. You know,
He's not does he know how to make meth?
He is not an expert in meth. I'm pretty sure he didn't make meth prior to writing this story. What I'm trying to say is you don't necessarily have to be a historian of the subject. Something like Darren Aronofsky, who made one of the greatest pro wrestling movies I've ever seen. The Wrestler had said, I'm not I know some stuff, but I'm not an avid fan. I don't know all this stuff. Like, this was brand new to me as I did it. So, like, there's a lot of good creative people doing stuff that they necessarily aren't masters of. It's a craft. It's the keyword's being creative.
Yeah.
Now the problem I think it is once you get the job, it's up to you to know the name though. You get me? It's like saying like I get hired on for Friends, but I don't know who plays Joey. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
There's like some guy named Joe.
What's his name? Yeah, James. Yeah. You know, it'll be in the same category where I think as a producer or the lead guy of the Friends, and you're not saying my actor's name right in interviews, I think I would get upset. And I think that's where it get wrong. And not that she didn't have the background, but how are you going to not know the name after you got hired? Especially if you're going to start writing for them. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody from SNL that gets hired as a writer knows all the actors from SNL.
Yeah.
Even though they may not even have history of SNL.
I think that will also hurt her too, that if you're going to be hired on, like, name everybody on the 205 roster right now, Albert.
Oh, dude, I can't even tell you one.
Half of them just got released this week, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to know the name of the champion.
Exactly, yeah.
You got to know who Bobby Lashley is at least. And the fact, I think it was more like she was kind of nonchalant about it. I didn't know anything about wrestling. But again, if she was hired
I think that was fine.
Yeah, but if she was hired to book the matches and say, hey, we need you, Miss Mobley, to kind of go and say, I need you to book this storyline.
Or as an agent.
And produce the matches, actually. No. If anything, she's maybe help out with promos. Maybe help out with, awkward television transitions or segment kind of drawing,
I also want to point out this way. Tyson Kidd is considered one of the best agents right now because he puts matches together pretty good. But last time I checked, Tyson Kidd wasn't the most creative guy.
Promo-wise,
promo-wise, gimmick-wise. He had no real gimmick that put him over.
Had a pretty awful haircut too. Remember, just the bangs and
so if someone were to tell me Tyson Kidd is writing and creative, I'd be like, I don't know if that's a good idea, right? But he's doing what he does best, which is putting together good matches. He's known for his in-ring work. This lady was a stand-up comedian, so she knows.
Wrote for television.
So that's what she knows, and that's what you need her for. I don't need you to book Bobby and Drew McIntyre. I want you to find a funny angle, a funny way to say this promo. You know what I'm saying? So she's not. There's nothing wrong with hiring someone like that if they have the knowledge of what they're doing as an occupation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I hope anybody that's trying to get a job in the future, you should probably look up who you're.
At least know who the main players are, right?
Exactly. You know, if you get hired by Apple and you didn't know who Steve Jobs is, I'll probably fire you too.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the fact that you just can't. That's the champ, man.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley. You gotta
The guy.
To quote Roman Reigns, acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me. So I do feel bad for her. She lost her job. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's never cool.
Awesome job too.
That's never cool, especially in today's economic climate. I do think the wrestling fans are a little hard, but like you said, what was she hired for? To maybe help them out with promos, maybe help out with some comedy skits. The WWE is always trying to be more comical. What if she could have given Matt Riddle some, hey, not write it for him, but here's an idea here and there.
Yeah.
I always think too, like again, Vince Russo said, I never ever got involved in matches. That wasn't my job. I just rolled out. I helped guys with some promos. Some guys needed more help than others. I wrote kind of where we're going week to week as far as segment wise, but when it came to in between the ropes, that was not my world. I didn't think she was ever going to be hired to, book a match. But again, you got to learn some of the knowledge, right? And I don't fault WWE for wanting to hire people who are writers. What are they going to do? Like hire Bruce Pritchards and Arn Andersons and Jim Cornettes and all these people with deep knowledge and just keep in their bubble. And the business has been so exposed now.
And it's also about mass appeal.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get the most audience, not necessarily the niche audience. You have a guy that knows wrestling and loves wrestling. That's not your target audience because you can get them with the wrestling.
Yeah.
But if you want to appeal to the mass audience, you get people like this that
outside
will
the
write.
bubble.
Yeah.
So again, and guess what? All you marks out there, you're still going to be watching, whether it be WWE or AEW or Impact. You're going to watch it because you love it.
Yeah.
I watch it because I love it no matter what. Yeah, as horrible or as inconsistent as the storylines are, I still watch it because I love it, because I'm not going to bash it. That's a stupid idea. Like a couple weeks ago with the whole mirror thing with Alexa Bliss, and people were just tearing it to pieces, but it was all people 18 to 45 tearing it to pieces. Well, maybe it wasn't for you. Maybe it was for the 12, 10-year-old who's like, oh, that's kind of cool, kind of scary, or just appreciate it for what it is, man.
No, I thought it was stupid.
Well, that's it. We'll see. I mean, I don't think she's come out and since or said anything post, but I thought it was an interesting story.
Yeah.
Interesting story at all. So that's it for round number 2. We're going to switch gears and talk about some mixed martial arts now and the surprise move the UFC is doing for its heavyweight division. That's coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 3. I promise we will stick to 5 minutes. So this round was originally going to be just how badass Cyril Gane looked on Saturday and proved me wrong and completely just blew Alexander Volkov out the water. And I was thought Volkov was going to win. We're talking about, I thought this round was going to be all Volkov and how he's next in line. Cyril Gane proved me wrong, and I'm here to admit, dude, he looked pretty badass on Saturday. He looked like a completely different fighter from his last fight with Rosenstruck. He was active and aggressive and confident and cool and say, you know what, I welcome any challenge the UFC wants to throw my way. And breaking news earlier today, UFC 265, Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane for the interim UFC heavyweight championship. Now, what happened to Francis?
Apparently,
Francis Ngannou, the real champ.
Apparently, he didn't want to fight July or August.
So I'm going to say here the UFC is using this heavyweight championship as a prop. What do you always say about UFC pay-per-view? What do you always say to make it worth your while?
It better have the stackness.
The stackness?
In order for me to give you $70.
And what's the stackness?
A stackness is multiple champions or headliners.
So as of before today, the only championship bout on UFC 265 was Amanda Nunes taking on Julianne Pena, which is a badass fight already.
Awesome fight, but $70, you better sprinkle a little bit more in there.
So Dana White, they're saying, man, we gotta get Albert to buy this fight. We gotta get Albert to buy this pay-per-view. How do we get Albert to buy this pay-per-view? We need him to buy it.
Yep.
Let's throw another title in there. But I don't know. We got what's lining up. We got Izzy's gonna fight. We don't know yet, but that's gonna set up some down the line. I think Blachowicz versus Glover is gonna be in August sometime, I think. But what can we do to hype up this card here? I got it. Let's slap on an interim title belt. and get Lewis versus Gane for this made-up belt because Francis isn't hurt. He just won the belt 3 months ago. Even his camp said he just got back to the U.S. He's going to start training. What the hell? So they're kind of flustered now. To me, the UFC is just throwing this belt as a prop to get more pay-per-view buys. Is Lewis versus Gane a badass matchup? Yes. Should it be for the interim title? No. Don't be disrespecting Francis like that. But now we got this, and now Francis is going to probably wait until September. Not even September because it's in August. So he's not going to fight. He's not going to fight the winner of this anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean John Jones comes in? Maybe fights in September?
So I think
What's going on here, Albert?
I'm thinking in a couple parts. One, yeah, you got to make that card stack. Like I said, like if you're charging $70, each card has to have stackness.
Albert's got to buy it.
Yeah, and I will buy it now that I see that this is on there. But the other thing is, I think they're still wishful thinking that they can somehow get that John Jones Ngannou fight made. They just need some time. And I think this way, it kind of buys some time. So let's say for some odd reason, the two guys have mediocre performance, or they show something that maybe John Jones is like, wait a second, like I could beat that, or you know what, let me get the interim first or something like that, and maybe set up Stipe versus Ngannou 2, because I mean they're 1-1 technically, so they deserve to run it a third time. So all I think this is doing is really buying time to figure out this whole John Jones debacle.
Really?
I honestly do think that. And like I said, I think determining how their performances determines where John Jones goes in this whole drama.
Well, I really think, okay, if you're gonna disrespect the champ like this in Ngannou, you better reward him.
Oh yeah.
Either with John Jones or John Jones. Because a rematch with Stipe isn't going to be big bucks. So I really hope that your theory is right and that they're just buying time for this. And we're going to reward Lewis for being cool and patient. We're going to reward Gane for that badass performance he had. And we're going to reward Francis for making him look like a chump. Oh, he doesn't want to fight. So this is an interim belt. When he's like, what? I'm not hurt. I haven't said public. I'm not busting at John Jones and saying, oh, give me more money. I'm just I'm hanging out. You guys tell me who to fight.
And then look at it this way too, because Jones said he's a championship caliber fighter. That's the whole reason he didn't want to fight Stipe.
Right. Coming off a loss.
Coming off a loss, right? But if you look at it this way, whoever wins Gane or Lewis is a champion. So if John Jones wants to get his feet wet without taking the most damage, because the whole point right here is, can you sell the Francis Ngannou fight at the price point that John Jones wants to do it in? And I think the way you do it is you get the winner out of here facing John Jones. John Jones goes in as the champion. That looks a lot more sexier on a poster when you got John Jones wearing a heavyweight belt already against Francis wearing a belt as well. I just
he's just a prop though.
It's a prop. But at the end of the day, I think it's the only way to kind of make it happen.
I don't know. You call it intro when Francis is totally fine. This BMF title, dude, just call it the Universal Championship or the whatever. There's makeup titles now.
The never open weight.
The never open weight. The UFC Television Championship of the world. The UFC North American Championship or the UFC Intercontinental Champion. Throw in some professional wrestling while you're at it. I don't know. Well, I just don't like the disrespect they give to Francis in this one here, but it's a pretty badass fight, though.
No, yeah.
Lewis versus Gane. I'm going to watch it, too. And that main event of Pena versus Nunes is going to be badass, too. So that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break, enter the championship rounds. Speaking of heavyweights, arguably the heavyweight GOAT is going to return in the very near future to Bellator. It's coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 4. Arguably the greatest heavyweight in mixed martial arts history, Fedor Emelianenko, returns to Bellator in October, late October. It's going to be in Russia, so they're doing him a lot of favors here. No USADA, no drug testing. He can probably show up fighting bears. It's going to be kind of cool here. So Scott Coker's been very good to Fedor in his career. Obviously, the days of him being in championship and that championship caliber are gone. But I think Bellator has used him correctly, paired him up with sort of guys on his level now, right?
Yeah.
The older heavyweights, the Rampages, the
Chael
Sonnen, and stuff like that. So he's returned. October, Scott Coker and Bellator have not announced a opponent. Names: former UFC champion Junior Santos, former UFC champion Josh Barnett, former Strikeforce champion Alistair Overeem are some of the top names that come to mind. Who are you thinking? Who you want? Are you interested in Fedor coming back?
So
Just to watch.
out of all those names, I heard Verdum was going to try really hard to get
They
it.
already beat him though.
But I think the only one that makes sense to me is Alistair Overeem for a couple of reasons. One, it's a winnable fight for Fedor, which is, I think it's one of the main ones.
Yeah.
Two, they have history in Pride, being part of Pride, and it's just a good story. These two guys that came from Pride.
They always were two ships in the night, always cross each other, but never faced off.
So the story's there for it, so it makes a good build up. And third of all, it's not going to be a grappling match. It's going to be a striking match.
Yeah.
Because if you put anybody else there, I think they might end up grappling with Fedor.
Josh Barnett for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I think All-Star makes the most sense here for all those reasons. And I honestly do think and on top of that, he has a good relationship with Scott Crooker.
True.
You forget Alistair Overeem was also a big Strikeforce guy. So to me, it's going to be Alistair.
Why not JDS? Is that too? JDS still kind of young enough to where he can knock out Fedor right away?
I wouldn't even say that because JDS has been on the bad side of some vicious TKOs and KO losses. The only reason I don't pick JDS is because the story's not there. And at the same time, I don't know if he'll strike with them. Even though he's known for his striking, I mean, he's still a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
He might take him down.
He might take him down, and I think it's very crucial that we see a stand-up war.
I also think,
and I don't think also Overeem is going for a takedown.
Yeah, I think you make some very good points. I also think JDS has an opportunity to kind of win Bellator heavyweight gold.
Yeah,
and why would you want to kind of start him off?
He can face the Matt Mitriones and them,
the Czech Congos and stuff like that. So I do like Alistair Overeem. Also for the fact that this is going to be in Russia, I want to see Alistair Overeem back on
horse meat,
quote unquote. Horse meat.
Just jack to the gills.
Jack to the gills. Best part about Pride was there was no rules, right?
Bro.
No rules.
I remember that Vander looking like a god, bro.
Right, him and Rampage, man.
Woo!
That's why you gotta give Fedor credit for being one of the best ever because he was doing it when everybody was jacked up on Royans, man.
And it's funny because you look at Fedor, has a nice little gut. Doesn't really look like a killer.
Yeah.
You look all these jacked up fools.
All these guys just completely Mark Coleman, veins popping out of veins.
Just jacked. I liked it.
So again, you gotta give credit to. We're talking about all this. What's next for Anderson Silva? What's next for Vitor Belfort? They're doing the boxing thing. Maybe Bellator has it right. They've had it right since getting Fedor, getting Chael Sonnen, and Rampage when he's motivated to train. Tito Ortiz and kind of booking these guys in appropriate matchups where, again, Fedor's not going to go up against Francis Ngannou. That'd be murder.
Yeah.
And whoever does that would be responsible for manslaughter, right?
Yeah.
But Fedor versus a 40-year-old Alistair Overeem versus a JDS is on the downside of his career. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
It's not too one-sided where I'm like,
it's a fun
I might
fight.
know who's going to win
fair.
that. I don't know who's going to win. Let me see who's going to watch it. Kind of competitive, right? What you want is competitive. So the last Emperor Fedor returns, Moscow, Russia. They're literally doing him so much favors here, right? What was his co-promotion called? Was it?
I forget, but they have to be on the card.
That was like the stickling thing with the UFC, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to co-promote it, but no, not going to happen.
There's only one promoter. For
M1.
UFC. M1 was it?
Was it M1?
It could have been.
They randomly gave him the championship. He is an M1 champion. Who do you fight for it? Doesn't worry about it, bro. You're gonna question people in Russia? He's a champion. He wrestled some bears for this, man. I wonder if he could pull any sway and get Khabib in Bellator. You think no?
Nah.
These Russia cards?
Plus he's still under UFC contract.
Oh yeah, easy. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up. It's gonna be various news and notes coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. 5th and final round. Various news and notes here. We're going to have a strong topic we can kind of get a hold on. The WWE released a various number of superstars. Probably the two biggest ones being Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Yeah.
Tony Nese and the Singh brothers were the ones at top of my head. I think they also released Roderick Strong's wife. So there's no more 4 horsewomen. The only one being the only one being Shayna Blazer now.
Yep,
so,
she's the last one remaining.
Yeah, which is, I mean, honestly, for her. Remember we saw her do Stardom here in California?
Yep.
She paid her dues, bro. She was
the only one that I think paid her dues.
After that, she was actually, I saw her tear down the ring, carry ropes, carry the cardboard. So she paid her dues. The other one's just like, hey, Ronda Rousey got signed.
And she went and trained with Josh Barnett. So she took it a little bit more seriously, I think.
So, but another round, a little less hoopla from the internet wrestling community because
no one ever out of those names, no one really passed the mid-card level.
Yeah,
it's the honest truth.
You could argue the skill level for Tyler Breeze was there.
Yeah, same thing for Fandango.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Jericho originally put him over, so obviously Chris thought something about him.
He had the dance, remember?
Yeah. So, but yeah, none of them passed mid-card level. So I don't think it was too shocking of all these releases.
Yeah.
I know that half of them I did have to look up. The one that's kind of surprising too is the Zing brothers, just because it feels like every now and then WWE tries to make this worldwide push, and so they need international talent to really push their name out there. But maybe they feel like they're in a place where, like, we go to Saudi Arabia and we're killing it. Yeah. We go to wherever, we're killing it. So do we really need those names there taking up the spot? Maybe not right now.
Yeah.
So to me, it just clearly shows me that they have left that direction where, for the very short time, they had what's his name as the champion from 3MB.
Ginger Mahal.
Well, that's all about the Indian push.
I think he has a new tag team now backing him, but they're two bigger guys. So they're about as tall as he is. I don't know the names because I think they're on main event. I don't watch main event. Uh-huh. But there's, like I said, they just all only have that one guy who could represent whatever country they're in. They'll be fine. Yeah. So I mean, most of them. We'll see what Fandango does. I think
I think out of all of them, Fandango and maybe what's his name? Reese. I was going to say
Tony Nese.
Tony Nese are the pickups there. I see them both more for Impact, but I can see Fandango working at AEW.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying like how much he actually taught them.
Yeah.
So maybe he can come back as a trainer. I know it's kind of an insult to him. Like maybe I still have more to prove in the ring because he hasn't really done anything on the main roster as far as like his single competitors and that. But she's like Bailey. Adam Cole was almost crying on his Twitch when he got the news release. So.
And then Tyler Breeze, I think he's got more.
No, I'm sorry, I meant Tyler Breeze, not Fandango.
Yeah,
Tyler Breeze, I meant all that.
Yeah,
I don't think Fandango's taught anybody like that. It was Tyler Breeze. But
I think Tyler Breeze has been more successful outside the ring than inside. That's what I was gonna say. And he has this whole Twitch thing with up, down, down. Yeah. Maybe they'll let him stay on. I don't know. But I think the only one the only two I think is the valuable is Tony and Fandango.
Yeah. Did you catch the bare knuckle this weekend?
I saw the infamous I guess incident that happened where Hector Lombard becomes the first cruiserweight champion, and I guess one of the top contenders there tries to go up to Hector Lombard, but bro. Yeah.
He got a 2-piece.
Gives him a 2-piece right off the bat. I mean, hey, when you're in the ring, keep your hands up. Even if it's not you fighting, you better keep those hands up, bro.
I'm always surprised to see what's his name, Julian. I forget his last name, but the Let Me Bang Bro. He's like living it up. He's like a god in bare knuckle because there's no other really technique involved other than just smashing people in the face.
Which you want too.
Yeah, so. I think exactly. He's like one of the top stars for bare knuckle, so it's always kind of funny.
And then we also saw oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. Who famously made a push in welterweight. Ended up losing a GSP.
Oh, Thiago
Alves.
Yeah.
He became a champion too.
Also want to point out too, former World Series of Fighting fighter Luis Palomino.
Oh yeah.
He actually won. He's actually a big star for bare knuckle. He actually called out Masvidal for bare knuckle. Yeah. So people are saying it's clout chasing, but
I don't think Masvidal was in it.
Go back in our archives. We actually interviewed him a long time ago when he was for World Series of Fighting. Super cool dude.
Bellator also had a card.
Yeah.
There wasn't much headway, I think I would say there. But I will say this that kind of irritates me. Bare Knuckle has been doing good as far as promoting their brand. But Bellator, what the hell, bro?
Yeah.
They need us. If I don't see posts on your social media about the time, the card, like on fight week, like I get so annoyed. Like they need a better marketing. Bellator's really pissing me off.
Yeah. That definitely is. They need to step up their game big time. Yeah. Real quick too, I guess the next bare knuckle match is Paige Van Sant versus Rachel Ostovich. They're both on there now. Pearl Gonzalez was also on this last card. I think she was victorious as well. So they're making a big push for these very attractive women who didn't make it in the UFC, but now are in bare knuckle fighting. So it's kind of niche to kind of, Even the promoter guy for bare knuckle gives off kind of a little sleazy vibe too, doesn't he? Like, yeah. You gotta see his game plan.
I mean, if you're into bare knuckles, I mean, you gotta be a little bit sleazy.
Yeah, right. That's it for this week's show, and thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to keep up to date with us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at 5 Round MMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Make sure to visit 5roundmma.com. Visit our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment, turn on notifications, please. We want to engage in conversation with you as well. If you're listening to audio podcasts, we're available wherever you get your podcast app, Podomatic, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your audio fixins we're in, and also again like a YouTube, like I mentioned earlier. And again, a big thank you to Foxhound Fuel. Go to foxhoundfuel.com, use promo code 5MMA for 25% off your order. Get your ready pre-workout mix, your during hydration workout mix, and your post-workout recovery powders all in one stop. Do yourself a favor. 3 great tasting flavors. foxhoundfuel.com. Train hard, stay sharp, and also a big, huge thank you to Wildbar. Eat instinctively, all natural, nutrient-dense bars, natural, paleo, vegan-friendly, no refined sugars, no GMO, just food you can pronounce, good fuel for your body. Go to wildbar.co, use promo code 5roundmma15, that's FIVE round MMA 15, the number 15, for 15% off your order. Get one or all 3 of the great flavors, berry, cherry, and pineapple. Big thank you to Wild Bar and Foxhound Fuel. Albert Cito, what do you got?
I actually wanted to do something new and put you on the spot. So I ordered an event on Fight TV. I got credit for it. I have enough credit to order the Matt Cardona versus EC3 event it already took place, and you can get it through Venmo, but it comes live on Fight TV on July 3rd. Do you want to do a watch party? It's going to be free of charge because I have the credit. EC3 versus Matt Cardona.
Who else is on this card?
I don't know, but it's some kind of weird way that they're matching up.
It's going to be a negative for me, bro. I'm not going to spend more time than happy watching Matt Cardona.
Oh, man.
You had me at EC3.
Uh-huh.
You had me at EC3.
And then I lost you at Matt Cardona.
You lost me at Matt Cardona. I just talked crap about this guy earlier. Nothing you can do to get me over. The guy hasn't put himself through light bulbs now to try and get over. He hasn't entered the world of hardcore deathmatch wrestling to even try and get over. Not going to get over. Not in my book. Not anytime soon. See you guys next week.